She doesn't even go here!
I'm bi, actually.
Excuse me. Could the ugly, untalented gays please report to the principal's office?
Hi, I'm Kurt Homo, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker.
Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Not So Straight Nerds. I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your host, Alicia.
And today, we are talking about X-Men 97, and just last night at D23, we got some of the early castings for the X-Men movie in 2028.
Yes, and there are some surprises in there, so we
Yes.
have some good things to talk about with X-Men.
Yeah, it's a very good year for X-Men. There's a bit to talk about. Before we get started on these conversations, though, Alicia, how are your vibes today?
My vibes are good. I've already done a lot of stuff, so I feel productive today, so now I can sit down and yap and then edit and not really do anything the rest of the day and still feel good. Yeah.
Hey.
And I'm excited about the news. I'm very excited to talk about it. I've loved the show, so I'm excited to talk about that. So I'm just excited all around for this episode.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, I was updating my Twitter every 2 seconds last night, waiting for everything to come out.
Yeah.
And that went on until literally midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fun. But oh my gosh, let's just live stream this thing, gang. Especially if you're not going to take phones away. Why aren't you live streaming this? Put this on Disney Plus. Do you know how many minutes of viewership you'll get on that? What are we talking?
You can even do you can have people pay for it too.
Yeah.
I would do that.
What are we doing here?
So
What's going on?
if that's the thing, you don't want it for free. It's free on social media, so it's do it for free on a live stream or make people pay something.
It feels like a missed opportunity, but whatever.
It was fun, coming home from work and seeing all the stuff, and then I was also busy in that evening, and then coming home from that and seeing more news. It was just that's how social media is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a brain rot or doom scrolling, anything like that. I don't know. It should be with purpose.
What?
Anyways.
Anyways, into talking about our X-Men. I am going to throw out that especially in regards to X-Men 97, we are talking spoilers. That is going to be everything from Season 1 and Season 2 of X-Men 97. Maybe some of the stuff from the original cartoon. Who knows? But you have been warned. All of that is currently watchable on Disney+.
Yeah, and then with the X-Men 97 casting, obviously spoilers for that. Duh. But also, I guess, spoilers for the recent Spider-Man movie. I mean...
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, if you haven't seen it, but, still. I'll still throw that out there.
Why not?
So, yeah.
Well, alrighty. So, starting this conversation, because we didn't talk about X-Men 97 on the show before, right? At least, we haven't done an episode on it. I think that came out before we started.
I think so as well. I don't know. I don't remember doing one on X-Men 97.
So, maybe a quick recap on that.
Sure.
Whenever they originally announced that they were doing a show based off of the original cartoon, I went and watched the original cartoon. And you have not.
I have not. Although I watched the Young Justice show and really, really liked it. And so I feel like I should watch that one.
It's a pretty fun time.
It's a good one. You don't have to... It's not like it's a super heavy, dramatic show. It's fun to just sit down and watch. I don't know. I love those almost more casual shows. Not to say there's not going to be any deep, dark moments in the show. I'm sure there will be. But I don't know. I think there's something comforting in that. It reminds me of Scooby-Doo. It's obviously it's not going to be the exact same vibe. But I don't know. You just sit down. It could be your comfort show. So, yeah.
Truly.
Well, I do need to watch that at some point.
It's a fun time. But going from that to X-Men 97 Season 1 was such a fun time. I think the animation leveled up. I think their storytelling really leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was really fun, that first
Mhm.
season. It's actually a 10 out of 10 for me on my score, and I think it's probably
Probably me
my
too.
favorite season of television that year. It's either 1 or 2.
Mhm.
I can't remember what might have beat it, but
Yeah, I remember also really liking it, so I would probably also guess a 10 out of 10 for me as well.
it was just such a blast. I loved seeing Magneto take over the X-Men was a really fun step to see him try and walk on in Charles Xavier's path only to ultimately revert, I think showing the like reason that Magneto believes what he does. You see Storm lose her powers and have to like fight to get them back. You see Charles Xavier return. You see Bastion, who I think is an amazing antagonist that I have not really seen in anything before. It is just so good. So many iconic scenes from that first one. The action's amazing. They brought back Morph into the main ensemble, which does not. He's not all that much in the original cartoon.
Is Morph, well, because wouldn't Morph be referred to like they them pronouns? Would you think? I don't know.
Nowadays, probably.
Okay, sure.
Go
Just wanted to clear. I
Go
was
off,
like,
Morph.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, Morph joining the main cast, incredible, so fun.
Absolutely. People are saying, that the MCU should bring Morph in because then you have an excuse to do whatever cameos you want at literally any time. You could have some crazy like what's a Spider-Man doing here, or like what's this guy doing here? Literally, you could do whatever you want, as you know what I mean, as long as the actor's on board to come for that project. So, could be fun.
Indeed.
We'll talk about that probably again a little bit later. So yeah.
No, but I absolutely adore this whole first season. It's a very fun arc. A lot of mini arcs. It does fun stuff with the characters. And then it ends on a very big cliffhanger that we get to go into season 2 on.
So good. I feel like I've always really liked the X-Men. Even in the movies, like some of them obviously are better than others. But I don't know, I've always really liked the characters. I don't know. I'm excited to see some of them come back. I hope more of them come back. But I'm also excited that we're starting to get our own little cast, our younger cast, which will be fun. And such a talented group of people. So, I don't know. I'm excited to see what the MCU does with them now. Hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed. So, because we see the potential, but that's also animation, which you can do a lot more with. So we see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other? Ooh, also shout out to Madeline Pryor, Mr. Sinister in that first season. Oh, they had some awesome scenes. Anything else we want to shout out?
I don't know. I don't have a very good memory, so I feel like I don't remember any other shout outs right now. I mean, was Jubilee in the first season?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always really liked Jubilee.
Yeah.
And
And
she's
the X-Men,
like barely in the live action movies, so.
in the original X-Men cartoon, the whole show picks up on her being saved by the X-Men. So she's like the character that's being introduced to everything.
Okay. See, another reason to watch that
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
And very appropriately, she is just a bolt of energy.
Yeah.
She's so fun.
That's awesome.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they ever try to adapt a modern day Jubilee, because she is aggressively an 80s girl.
I think you could do it. I mean,
It'd be fun. Given the right team, I think they could do
Yeah.
it really well.
Yeah, I think so. The right director, writers, all the things. Anyways, yeah.
So, with season 1, my expectations going into season 2 were pretty high. There was some weird drama I don't want to go into behind the scenes of everything, with like some trade-off on some of the leadership and writing. So there was a little bit hanging in the air on what the differences might be, how involved certain people were who had left. and where the end product ends after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I had very high expectations.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that, but I was very excited going into it, just seeing some of the characters again. We lost some of the characters from season one.
Didn't even mention that episode.
Yeah.
The episode where Gambit sacrifices himself. Dude,
Yeah.
I was...
That's another thing where I feel like Gambit became a new favorite of mine as well. Because I mean, I don't know a lot of these characters. Like I've said before that I haven't read comics, and so I'll always be honest with that. So I don't have that perspective. So yeah, I don't know a lot of these people, and even the ones that I maybe have heard their name or seen glimpses of something of them. I don't know them and their character very well, so this is what I have to reference, and I love him in this show.
He's incredible
So
in this
good.
show.
Yeah. Rogue as well, I feel like is a character that wasn't, like, I guess properly done in the live actions. I mean, obviously they had her, but she's very different here.
Unanimously across the board, the actual X-Men fans before these movies came out had a lot of thoughts about Anna Paquin's version of the character.
Oh. Well, I really like what we get here. I love her southern accent. We were both saying, like, whoever plays her, which we'll talk about later, needs to have her southern accent, or, like, I don't know. With who got casted, I would be more open-minded to something else, but I still would love to see her southern accent. You'd have to, like, pitch me on something else, but shall see. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good. Nightcrawler as well, I feel like is one I didn't care for in the live actions that much. But I know, and I think that's a hot take.
That is.
Because people really like him in the live actions. But I just don't remember him, like, I guess, sticking out to me a whole lot. Obviously, his one scene in, was it the White House?
Yes.
Yeah.
X2.
It's been a really long time since I watched it. Anyways, like, probably COVID. But I do remember that scene. Of course, everyone talks about that scene. But him as a character, I just feel like a lot of these people aesthetically looked cool in the live actions, but some that were maybe not developed as characters as much as I would have wanted are here. Not everyone, but some of them. And yeah, I don't know. His was definitely one that was like,
Truly.
I really like him here.
Now, his adaptation here, he's so twinkified, which is really funny. Yeah. But I actually really like, and they carry this into season 2 really well, balancing his looks with his faith. His introduction in the original cartoon, he's in like one episode of the original cartoon, where they find him. No, he's in a couple, but he's not a part of the main cast.
Okay.
But they find him living in a church, and everyone thinks that he's a demon from a village, but he's like in this church, and he's like one of their priest pastors. I don't know. It's like a super medieval-esque village, and then he lives there, and like him and Logan share a whole thing about faith, and like which I think is a very important conversation in the whole like X-Men of it all, and you know where this desire for humanity to change can come from. I think Nightcrawler's a really great character to have that conversation through, and I think here in this second season they do it really well.
I agree.
But yeah, bringing Nightcrawler into this main ensemble for this cartoon show, great choice. Especially his connection with Rogue is kind of everything.
Yeah. And then, how should we start season 2?
Season 2. Let's start where season 1 left off.
Okay.
So, Asteroid M explodes, the X-Men are presumed dead, but then we see that some of the gang is in the ancient Egypt past, and they are introduced to En Sabanur, who is Apocalypse before he got his celestial power upgrade.
His design was so cool. Oh my gosh.
I love how En Sabanur looks in this show.
Yeah.
He looks so cool. And it's like, he's like scary, but not like too scary. It's like there's still like an element of sympathy that you feel towards him, even though he's like such a like big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, loved.
It's a great design for him, like pre-apocalypse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, so I thought the idea that your team was separated throughout time,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to get the X-Men back to the 90s. What a great pitch for season 2. You're bringing in Apocalypse, you're bringing in fighting him on multiple different times. Then there's the tee-up that Apocalypse was going to bring back Gambit in modern time, back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, there was a lot going for this show off the get-go.
Yeah.
And I will say, there's overall thoughts. I still love this show, and I aggressively love this show. This is one of my favorite seasons of 2026 so far.
Yeah.
I do recognize that it is not nearly as perfect as the first season.
Sure.
And there are some critiques that I can recognize, but I'll also say they're affecting a lot of other people in this community and fandom than it is me.
Yeah.
'Cause I still love what we do get.
Yeah, I agree. I was a little shocked by some of the response. I mean, obviously the finale had a lot to talk about. We lose one character, and we'll get there, and that was talked about a lot. But then with the last few episodes, I actually did see quite a few tweets that were like, you could tell when the What If writers came in, like, the potential of this, like, it's a horrible finale. And even with the character we lost, there were probably equal amounts of people, sad about it, but and then other people were saying this was so dumb, like, why would they do this? People were saying it had no build up. Like, there was just a lot more negative reaction than I expected, because I went online and looked it up because I wanted to see what people were saying about it, because I was excited about, like, maybe not everything, but I was at least excited to see what people were saying. And I don't know, that shocked me. That definitely not everyone. I saw plenty of like, I loved this as well, but it was more mixed.
It's more divisive
it would have
than
been.
I super understand it to be.
I actually kind of forgot that there were different writers on this, like wildly different writers on this season. So I couldn't tell personally.
Surely.
Anyway.
So I think we could start on some of the positives overall of the overall season. And I listed some of them. We talked in Sabanur, and I actually love his little arc there in Egypt. I love that Magneto is trying to recruit him to be the first X-Man instead of just the first mutant.
Yeah.
Great bars. I love Magneto trying to lead him towards Charles's path. Him and Charles' dynamic early on in the season is incredible.
Yeah.
Which makes losing in Sabanur to like this inevitable path that he has to walk feel so like heartbreaking at the same time. And then to have him kill Magneto in front of his man like that.
Wow.
Dude, that was crazy.
It was crazy. I remember that scene it felt so silent, and like we were so silent. It was just like it was like kind of Charles just watching and being horrified at what was happening, but it was so well done. Oh my God, it was very sad. But yeah, I actually really liked Magneto and Charles's dynamic in this, because I've definitely had my critiques with like more so like Professor X in certain live action movies. So I actually really liked their dynamic here, and it gives me hope. Like, I feel like I just straight up like didn't like Professor X most of the time in the live action movies for the most part. But I actually do find things to like about him here. I think he's at his best when he's interacting with Magneto and not just like himself.
It does, I think, really help the character, because with everyone else on his team, he's just like clearly like on a like respect and authority level just above everyone else. So it's I think he's a lot more interesting when he has someone who's on his own level to like go back and forth with on their ideologies. And they have such a rich dynamic between the two of them. They've been enemies, they've been friends for so long, and the lines between that are so blurred at this point that they're basically husbands. And it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I absolutely love how they push each other and they call each other out on things, you know, because neither ideology is perfect, but also they both definitely have reasons to think what they think and believe what they believe. So it's messy. I love when it's messy because it's nuanced and it's way more interesting than like Professor X being on a high horse, and it's like that doesn't work for me. It's annoying, especially like men. Like I don't want men to be on high horses. Anyways, yeah. I know.
Very, very fun start to the season. That and the futuristic, fighting Apocalypse in the future, meeting Nathan again. Hey, Michael Johnson from not the Bear. He was Bear in Obsession.
Yeah.
Fun little place
fun.
to see you again. Obsession and X-Men. What's happening? But I thought that whole thing was really fun. Seeing a full set of Apocalypse's horsemen there in the future. You get to see Cyclops and Jean kind of dabble in truly being parents, which I think is really fun. You get to see Cable truly level up and be one of the most powerful telepaths ever, which is super cool. It sets up a really interesting dynamic for later on in the season when they come back and see adult Cable.
Yeah.
It is all just wild.
I like his design too. I think it's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah, that's a pretty iconic design, pretty right out of the comics.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also just one of the big positives for me is I love the designs of these characters in this show.
And the animation style does it so justice.
So cool. I love like the character work here. I think they do a really good job with several characters. Even the characters that aren't in it as much, like people have complained that Storm was not in the season a whole lot, but I still liked when she popped up, and I've always enjoyed what they've done with her here way more than the live action movies.
So true.
Her design is much better here, and her character writing is much better here. So gives me hope for the MCU version. So anyways,
if I might hop off of that.
Sure.
And I do think that the X-Men kind of as a show in this kind of capacity, I think when you have an ensemble this big, you kind of have to rotate who's in the spotlight.
Sure.
And while I think Marvel across many divisions right now is fighting an uphill battle against certain conversations and takes on the types of characters and stories they're willing to put forward and highlight
versus canceling and ignoring.
Yeah. That being said, Storm has a great story and arc in season 1.
Yeah.
And, you know, if she didn't have that in season 1, I'd be more like, what the hell are we doing with Storm?
Yeah.
But now she's taking as much a backseat as I would say, like, Beast is. Which is, you know, as long as we circle back to her in another upcoming season, I'm kind of whatever on it. I will say her being the headmistress of the school and us not really seeing anything with that by the end of the season feels insane.
Yeah.
But
hopefully we'll get her back season 3.
With this show specifically, I would be utterly surprised if we didn't circle back to her at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. What else?
I love the idea of the 3 timelines thing. We'll circle back a little bit to that later.
Ooh, I want to shout out a specific character. It's Polaris.
Polaris.
Yeah. I'm always like worried that I'm pronouncing things wrong. Anyways, she was so cool. I feel like I didn't know who she was before this. I'll be honest. I mean, maybe I've heard her somewhere and I just didn't remember it. But I will be remembering her from this because she has a very iconic design. So if nothing else, I'll always remember that. She was so cool here. I loved that she didn't start out, I guess, on their side because she was a part of a different team.
She was on
and X
X
There's too
Factor.
many, yeah, X-Force, X-Factor, X-Men. Too many X's, okay? Too many.
Weapon X.
Everyone wants to be X-Men, and then it's
X-Corp?
confusing. Everyone wants their crumb. Yes. Oh my gosh. I did not, because I didn't know anything about her. I did not know that she was Magneto's daughter. So I was gagged when they said that. I was like, whoa. And everyone was like, not reacting like that. And I was like, nah, I didn't know that. So cool. Anyways, I thought that dynamic was fun, and she's very, very powerful. Love her design, and anytime they showcase her powers. So
No, she's
very
really cool. The only other place I've seen her as a character is in the, I don't remember what channel it was on, but whenever they were doing like X-Men spin-off shows, Polaris is a big character in The Gifted, and that actress is incredible as her. Like it starts with her and like she has like normal black hair, but then she gets arrested and she's like in the shower and like the dye is coming out and it's like the green left over. She's dating this guy who has like light powers, and there's like whenever they like touch, they like create the aurora borealis around them. She gets a daughter in the show.
Aww.
And that's Mother.
Literally Mother.
You see her, she has this like coin. They can't show Magneto because they can't afford whatever actor was playing him at the time, but she like talks about who her dad was, and she creates her crown out of this like metal coin that he left to her.
Aww.
It's The Gifted, season 1 of The Gifted is so cool. And then in season 2, Polaris is fun. But
Right.
it's like worth a watch for her alone.
Absolutely. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure you hyped that up for me. I'll be honest. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to watch that too. I need to get some like X-Men lore in my brain. Anyways, no, she was really cool, and I want to also shout out specifically the scene in the last episode when she's being like pinned down, and then the card appears, and she's like, that was hilarious. I've seen people talk about that, rightfully so.
That's
that was
right out of
awesome.
Marvel Rivals, because Magneto has the ability to put like shield bubbles around people and himself.
That's funny.
That is
not
you see an
her. She
ult
said,
coming.
"Y'all are on your own."
Dude, the no reaction bubble up.
She said
was
it's like such a like, oh crap.
Dude, no notes. Perfect little bit of animation.
Yeah. Very, very fun.
Oh my gosh, Polaris was so fun. I'm so glad that she's here.
I agree.
The Task Force X episode I thought was also incredible. So not gonna lie. There's 2 people on that team that I do not know or recognize or even remember their goddamn names. They were expendable. They died. Sure. But we see Morph going with Wolverine, because of course he is. We get to see Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike, which is very exciting. Those are some characters that get to explore that dynamic with Logan a lot in the original cartoon. They're all a part of that program that turned them into super soldiers and weaponized them. They're supposed to be programmed weapons that escaped. And the idea that Logan is using all of these people just to get his adamantium skeleton back. Ooh.
Yeah, that episode is really cool.
It's so different from everything else in this season, but it's so cool. It stands out in a really fun way.
I agree.
The Brood being shown very alien-esque. The way it's like infecting people, and when it infects Wolverine.
Scary.
Terrifying,
yeah.
And then bringing out Omega Red was super fun. It's so great. I wish I will say maybe this episode was the last time I think I was like super like gagged and in awe the way I was by like a handful of moments in the first season.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, it was just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that episode.
I had thought just one more thing about Polaris. People are shouting out her and Bishop, and I think that would be really cute.
Yes, I've heard some people confused because I guess that's not a thing that's been explored before with those characters.
Oh.
But fuck it, Weeball. I think they're adorable.
Yeah. Well, and I love Bishop too. I think he's really
Bishop's
cool.
very fun. He
Mhm.
also is one of those characters that just like cameos on the show. Having him here as like a
little
cemented
bit.
X-Men, him
Yeah.
and Forge,
Yeah.
great addition.
Very cool. Nice. I don't know. I guess I can't. Should we shout out maybe some of the things in the last episode since that's.
Let me hit two
guess-
more things and then we'll
okay.
hit the last episode. Real quickly, X-Force.
Mm-hmm.
On that third episode when they play a completely different intro with the X-Force team.
Mm-hmm.
So fun.
Yeah, I loved all the different intros. Obviously we had the same little tune that we vibed to in every single episode. But the little changes here and there were very cool to see. It's like the Marvel logo when they add little things.
Yes.
So.
No, I thought Jubilee and Hotspot joining them to try and continue doing X-Men-esque work was very fun. I loved highlighting the differences between them and the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And having Psylocke and Angel on that team are very good. Like, they are definitely in the same boat as Cable is in regards to, like, ethical ambiguity, moral ambiguity.
Yeah.
But what a fun little team. And I thought that this team was better. The dynamics were explored better than some of the other team dynamics that were explored in this season.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I have bringing back Gambit.
Yes. His
Dude.
design was really cool when he came back. It was very scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever he turned his staff into like the scythe.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when he did that for the first time, I was gagged. That was maybe the last time I was. Oh, it was just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
His whole like dynamic shifting. He still loves Rogue, but it's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's like a
Almost twisted.
twisted
Yeah.
edge to it. The way
Very
he's
much
trying to
so.
turn her into like Apocalypse's lost love. The way he like converts the Thieves Guild from
Mhm.
Louisiana. It's just so cool. And we do eventually get him back as my guy. So I'm glad we didn't have to lose him again. I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah. Ugh. And I guess that kind of leads right into the last episode.
Yes.
I do love the last couple episodes with Rogue and Gambit's entire like interactions and like dynamics and everything, how that changes and evolves. But I do love that scene where Rogue goes like face to face with a Celestial. That's terrifying. But also she's wanting to save the love of her life, and so they mention like you never go in there and then not sacrifice something. So she's wanting a life, and so I think it's natural that they're like, okay, that's the sacrifice, is you give a life then. And she gives hers, and then she comes out. She doesn't say anything about that, but we see Nightcrawler definitely still like kind of understand what that meant, which leads perfectly into later. First of all, her upgrade was very cool. I will say before we get to the sad stuff, her upgrade was very cool. I loved all the sparkly stuff. I think y'all were mentioning that would be a cool like Marvel Rival skin. Be cool for
Yes,
her.
because on the schedule for this new half a season that dropped, they always do like a skin schedule for like what's coming out every weekend.
Yeah.
And they said some skin is coming related to the X-Men 97 season 2, but they didn't say what. So this whole finale where we're like, so what
Yeah.
crazy
Which
upgrade
one?
are they going to drop that they can't reveal yet?
Yeah. Oh, because y'all don't have Polaris on the game yet, right?
No. She's a little
She'd be
she's a little
cool.
accessory for Magneto. which is funny.
thing. She would be fun at some point. I don't know. Oh, also I forgot to mention, I guess slight sidetrack, but I forgot to mention Psylocke was really cool too. I remember her from the game. Like, I don't play the game, but I've seen the characters, so I know some of them. She was very cool in this show as well. Her powers are so pretty. I'm like,
Absolutely.
girl, and you're crazy. I love the scene where she like stabs Wolverine's brain, and he's like, these brains are already scrambled. And just launches her. It's so funny.
No,
Yeah,
she's badass.
I agree. But anyways, back to I guess the Rogue Nightcrawler gambit of it all.
Yes.
The absolute gag when they like her Rogue and Gambit separate, and she's like, there needed to be a sacrifice, and then Beast has his little book, and I'm like, we're all like, no, we all immediately start like tearing up. I'm literally tearing up right now. It was too much. I'm like, I liked Nightcrawler. I didn't know I liked him that much. I like immediately felt that. He's just like one of those characters that it's almost like an unspoken thing. Like, don't even touch. Like, don't do anything. Don't mess with him. So when they do, it's like, wow, my heart just got ripped out.
Ugh.
So he's now definitely cemented as like one of my favorites now. After that, I'm like, wow, I don't think I realized that, but I do now.
No, Nightcrawler's so cool. This show did so much to hype up Nightcrawler in the last season with the three swords sword fight, and then the POV of going through his teleport with him. And then here you got to see a POV of his point of view as he's dashing around the battlefield.
Yeah.
That was so funny. But no, I think especially after his episode of the trial of Creed, I forget his first name, but the guy who's running for president, his half-brother, it was the idea that he still thinks like humanity and even the worst of humanity can be like saved or at least like sympathized with. It just, my guy, you're just so pure.
And then like them showing that goes hand in hand with them showing when he meets the Celestial and saying, you know, how do you know this is going to be good for humanity? And he's saying, because I have faith. Like, oh, so well done. I can't believe people hated that. It's like, I understand hating that he's dead. Like, yeah, I get it. But like, people were like complaining and saying this was like no lead up, bad choice. And I'm like, what? I feel like this was almost very secretly set up really well. Like, I didn't see this coming, but then it was happening, and I was like, this is very powerful. It's very well done. Nice.
Crazy. Yeah. The things I like about this season, I love.
Yeah.
And I think as we're about to go through some of the cons, like the cons truly pale in comparison to how much I love this season.
Yeah, I don't even know what I rated it, but it's still definitely pretty high. Oh yeah, I still gave it a 9 out of 10 personally.
I had it at a 9.5. I was listening to some feedback and I was like, this is valid. Imagine what this season would have been like if it was just longer. Like, that could have made this such an iconic piece of X-Men media.
Yeah. I think so too. You know, I understand that nowadays it can take longer, and so if you have more episodes, it might not come out yearly. Might be like a year and a half or even 2 years. I don't really know. Like, I would wait for this show. I think we had a similar conversation with Invincible, how, you know, fans like the yearly release, but they also want more episodes and they want better animation. It's like, okay,
and that's a triangle where it's give and take.
Yeah, you can't have both. So I think it's probably a similar thing here. We would have to wait longer if we have more episodes. But I think for this show, at least I would be willing to wait for that. So it kind of depends. I feel like as long as they keep coming out with it yearly, it should probably have maybe 10 or 11 episodes just a little bit more. They had 9 episodes this season. Just a little bit more.
Can
would
get
be
one more
nice.
in there.
Yeah. But I also definitely wouldn't mind if they announce, more episodes, but it's delayed. That's fine. It's kind of like Beyond the Spider-Verse 2. People were like, oh my God, it's coming out next year. And then some people were like, how? And then now it's been delayed many years. So it takes time.
And there is something else to be said about, these companies that are greenlighting these projects. Maybe you should start looking for projects you're okay with greenlighting 2 seasons at once more, especially in animation.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, where a lot of shows back then had pilot episodes, and if they did well, then, a little bit later, they'd be filming and then release a whole season. I feel like nowadays, with how short seasons typically are, it's almost like there's a pilot season.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of how it's like now. It's no longer pilot episodes because, you can't really do that. People, I don't think, would be,
because there's no cable anymore.
Yeah, there's no.
So how would
yeah.
how would that get out other than like a weird special? But
Yeah, exactly. So
how do you test that if people have to click on it?
I don't know. So I think they're adapting, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That reminds me of like Adult season 1, how they just did a thing where, I thought it was weird that the Paul Baker episode is now shown as episode 1. I thought that was weird. I thought it was hidden. I couldn't find it. I had to like Google where it was, and people were like, it's episode 1 now, and I'm like, oh, okay. However, now that I know why they did that, I actually really like it. Apparently, a lot of audiences, because the opening scene of what was episode 1 was turning people off of the show. And so what they did, they decided the Paul Baker episode was already a prequel, and so they put that first instead. And I actually think that's a pretty genius move, is so you like hook people with this new first episode.
And what a crazy opening scene to hook them. That's so smart.
Yeah, exactly.
We were laughing at that for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and so now people are going to see that when they start watching the show instead of what was the first episode. And I actually think it's really smart. But yeah, I agree. I think sometimes they do well. Like, I think they did well with Percy Jackson, how season 1 they didn't know how it was going to do, but it did really well. Everyone loved it. So then they did seasons 2 and 3 were confirmed. And I think some people are now like, they probably should hurry up and do seasons 4 and 5 already. Because people loved that now we got seasons 2 and 3 back to back, and yearly. So I don't know. Sometimes they do well with that, sometimes they do not. And sometimes it's interesting what they say yes to versus no. So I feel like Disney Plus and Hulu typically do a better job at that sometimes.
Sometimes. I don't know if anyone's particularly leading this.
No, not exactly. Even Prime sometimes is hit or miss. So HBO Max, certainly not. They definitely have big gaps between a lot of their seasons. And then Netflix, of course, is like the one that everyone talks about is the worst. So I don't know. We definitely could be doing better, but certain shows are doing well, at least.
Truly. Some of the other pacing is just such a big thing. I think they're trying to squeeze so much into these 9 episodes. And like, I think this whole season could have just been the X-Men Lost in Time.
Mm-hmm.
And then season ends, they're back.
Mm-hmm.
Next season is all of the stuff that happens. Gambit's resurrected, X Factor, all of that. I think these could have been 2 completely different seasons. And the whole time lost of it all gets resolved by like episode 4.
Yeah. I mean, again, if it had more episodes, if it was like a proper 22 episode season, then yeah, you can do maybe half of that. It's a time thing, and then it leads into the Gambit thing. But they only had 9 episodes. So I guess I wasn't super bothered by that, but I see what you mean, and I definitely see like why that could bother some people. I don't know. It's almost like sometimes I settle because that's like the new thing nowadays. Is pacing is different. So maybe I'm just used to it. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I'm settling with it as well. But I just to imagine what that would be like to focus more, because I think like we were talking about, Charles Xavier has never been more interesting than when he was trapped in Egypt with his husband.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then the whole dynamics between the parents and Nathan and everyone else trapped in the future, and then having, like, you had 3 really interesting plot lines all fighting Apocalypse at the same time. And then for that to kind of conclude so early on.
Yeah. And you can do one-off episodes that add to the main storyline of what's happening. It doesn't always have to be about these 3 specific storylines. But that's what's kind of fun, is you can do kind of one-off episodes to add character development to this character that'll add to something later. Kind of like they did with Nightcrawler. Like, you can do things like that, but then also with more episodes, you have more time to still explore the main storyline as well. So, the Wolverine thing, yeah, it's fun, but it is taking up a lot of time that could have been used for something else. But
And another bit of my problem with the timeline resolving thing is, I think once they get back into their main timeline, it happens the same episode that they find Apocalypse dead, his dead body in that timeline.
right,
And then it's like, okay. So it felt like we were all coming back to meet up to fight present Apocalypse, but now he's dead. And then you find out later that, like, where he went is inside Gambit. But I'm going to say it doesn't... I feel like that doesn't replace everyone coming back to fight Apocalypse at the same time with a different perspective of Apocalypse in mind.
yeah,
I think it doesn't replace kind of what it feels like it was originally building towards. It's not like a bad alternative. It's just that it doesn't hit nearly as hard, or it's like a very hard left turn from where they're heading. It's weird.
fair enough.
I also said the Horsemen. Okay, we have to see Magic just decide to get killed right after teleporting. Which is...
It was like, yay, Magic! Oh no! I don't know. I was so excited for her to come back, and then that happened.
And that's the thing. I thought it was going to be so cool to see Magic here. Because we see in the trailer, it had the shot of the shrine for everyone that was lost on the battle in the Genoshan massacre. And, like, Magic's front and center on that. And so we see the scene, and I'm like, well, we know someone else who's already getting resurrected from there. Is Apocalypse just making a new set of horsemen from the people who died here in the massacre? Because then that also brings, what's her name? Madeline Pryor also died in that massacre, and you could throw in another person in there to make a full set of his 4 horsemen versus the X-Men who just came back to their own time.
Yeah.
And then you're fighting the Eternal Apocalypse and your friends who all died in this massacre, and there's a lot to that premise. But then it's just Gambit.
And Gambit's cool.
Gambit's so cool.
Again, it's not like... It's just like it could have been more. With more episodes, more time to do more. I don't know.
Yes.
It's like, I like what we got, but we could have the potential of having more.
And like, you couldn't... I don't know. You're moving so fast. I don't even think the season necessarily needs to be longer. It just needs to focus on these things for longer. And then just save some of the stuff you wanted to get to for another season. That's already greenlit. So I don't know. I love it. I love what we get. But just like, oh, we have 3 other horsemen. Apocalypse died, so they fled. And now we're just dealing with Gambit. Even that. And Magic's out there somewhere.
I don't know.
It's interesting, an interesting choice. Especially because in the future timeline, when we get to see all 4 horsemen there, and they're like such a random collection of people, I'm like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see another set of horsemen. And then they laughed in my face.
They're like, oh, about that.
Best I can do is Gambit. And I was like, I guess I'll take it. It's Gambit.
Cool.
Then I have Val Cooper, Miss Glasses Girl.
How do you feel about people saying or people theorizing like how long has well, I guess this is kind of the reveal of the post-credit scene. How long has Mystique been Val Cooper? Just then, or has she been all season? Like, what do you think about that?
Considering she shoots the real Val Cooper as soon as she walks into her office, I don't think it's alluding to her having been Val for all that long.
That's what I was thinking too. And I don't think people were I think people were pretty divided by that. Like I saw someone say like, "Oh, she must have been her all season," and then there were definitely people in the comments that were like, "I don't think so. Like I think she was just that episode." Like it's definitely divided opinions. I just wanted to bring it up that's being said.
Because I remember in the first season, everyone was like, "Could this possibly be Mystique?"
Mm-hmm.
And then she was the one who also freed Magneto, and then that was when I was like, "No, Mystique wouldn't do this and like not reveal why she was doing it."
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is probably the first time that we've seen Mystique in this version of the show.
Yeah.
Because also pretty shocking to me when I watched the cartoon, her and Magneto ain't all that close. From what I remember.
No, she's low-key like
she's
a bad person here.
No,
it's kind of crazy.
I'm gonna say this, and I want to know how it resonates with you. We're currently watching The Vampire Diaries. She's kind of giving the Catherine of this cast.
No, like
She literally throws a baby away, raises another baby in another face, so Rogue doesn't know that her mom is Mystique the entire time. Comes, goes.
Vampire Diaries. No, that's kind of funny.
Pretends to be other people. Anyways.
She kind of is the Catherine Pierce of this universe. It's crazy.
No, it's so cool.
And her design here, there has been plenty of old and modern looks for Mystique that people hate, and I think rightfully so. Even in this upcoming one, I was like one of the first ones to be like, "Ooh, she looks really bad right now," and I feel like everyone was excited that she was back, and now people are like, "But I don't like her design." I'm like, "Yep, I was there day one. Saw that, hated it."
Truly.
I think she looks weird. I think she looks really bad, and then to see what she looks like in the comics, I'm like, oh, so that's not comic accurate either. Like, oh, okay, comic accurate is like one thing, but all like the scaliness, like in the comics, I love her white dress with like the skull belts thing. That's so cool. Why don't you do that?
I do think the whole idea of how she shapeshifts, because the scale design, like the original scale design of like her body flipping upwards to turn into other people,
That was cool.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Like they haven't all
I
been
understand
bad.
the scale design,
Yeah.
but I think he's
I think more maybe
the
that
big
wasn't.
things?
Yes, the big things. That's what I mean. Yeah, the slow scaly turn thing that was cool, but it's the big like dark spots they just look fake. Like the MCU has, I feel like, done a really good job at, Nebula and Gamora. They're completely different colors that like obviously are not realistic. But they do a good job at making it seem like that's really what their skin is like. They have little like designs sometimes. Obviously Nebula has a lot more with her robotic design. But I don't know. So it's just, I think it's more shocking when the MCU doesn't get Mystique right. So it's like, you do a great job here. I don't know. And then her costume was on display at D23, and I liked part of it because it had the white, but then it has the blue sleeves, and I'm like, but she's blue.
She is blue.
Just don't do the sleeve.
Interesting.
I don't know. And then they have a belt, but it's an X instead of the skull, and I'm like, you're so, like, I get it, but like, you're so close. Just do the skull belt. Like, I get it. She's X-Men, whatever.
Here's a thing I'm curious about. I wonder if they're teeing up some small things to be like, here's kind of what you're thinking you're looking for, and like saving it for whenever they do their
Their own
MCU
version,
adaptation
yeah.
to be like, and now this is going to
Yeah.
scratch the itches that you had from the previous versions.
I hope so. Kind of like, the Spider-Man suits. There were definitely some that I really liked and other people liked, but a lot of them were not very comic accurate. And then he finally got a really, really good one in No Way Home, and then got to display it in Brand New Day, and it was amazing. Everyone loves it. So I'm kind of hoping it's that situation where it's like, here's like the last little bit, and these people will probably get killed off because we have our own version now. I mean, most likely. I don't know. Or we'll never see them again for whatever reason. And then here's this beautiful cast that everyone loves and all of their comic book accurate costumes. That's like, fingers crossed, what I'm hoping for.
No, but then do you remember in X-Men Apocalypse where it ends with the most comic accurate outfits that any of these characters have ever had, and we never see them again? Oh,
R.I.P.
it's so funny. But I have a lot more faith in proper MCU, like especially under like Jack Schreier.
Yeah. Schreier?
Schaefer, right?
Schaefer. But even Jean Grey, she already has like the scrunchie and the jacket with the green and the yellows. So they've already had some teases. So yeah, hopefully.
No. I'm very curious to see that all come together. Anyways, circling back to X-Men 97. Val Cooper, how insane are you to be a part of that massacre and like share responsibility for just like the most unabashed genocide of that realm at the time, of that world, whatever. And then to still be claiming to be doing your stuff to help mutants. She's like on the phone with Charles Xavier and she's like, I'm trying to help mutants and you are the problem here. And I'm like, how do you still have a job? What are we talking about here?
Yes, the audacity for her to be like, I'm not attacking them, I'm attacking you. That's not true. By attacking him, you are waging war on everybody here. That's just like, I can't believe she said that. I was like, I almost just like want to say that's a bad line. That's how much I hate it.
Like, these lines would
So
be fine
annoying.
if it didn't feel like she actually believed that. Because they're just so unbelievable.
Mhm.
It's like, if she's saying that for, like, legal reasons, then you have to show her being, like, truly seeing these mutants as not people.
Yeah.
But she's working with mutants. And then I'm also going to throw the X Factor in here. Because, oh my gosh, what are we doing here, gang? And I think the crew, they're just used so poorly, I think, in this season. And I think you have a whole team, unlike X Factor, where they get a whole episode to explore that dynamic. You don't get that here. I think the designs are, the characters. I think the designs go to this show fine. This is a group that's in the X-Men cartoon for like maybe 1 or 2 episodes. But to see them working so unapologetically on what is obviously the wrong side without really unpacking that.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Very
Homegirl literally
frustrating.
has sentinels on the landing strip up above, and you're not clocking that you might be on the wrong side of this.
Crazy.
It's very bizarre. Considering how much they're in this season, it's, I think, a huge problem that we don't get to explore that team at all.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think would have helped if this
With
chunk
more
was a different
episodes.
season.
Yeah. More episodes or different season.
Yeah.
Something.
And I think that's about all of my cons, unless you have anything else.
No, I don't think so.
So, teeing up for season 3, we have the reveal that Creed, the son of Sabretooth and Mystique, was elected president, and he's going to run a very anti-mutant campaign. He ran a anti-mutant campaign. He's going to put that into policy. And Mystique is investigating him after her other son, Nightcrawler, died. And she kills Val Cooper. Thank God.
Ugh. Thank you, Batty.
Yeah, you're already doing...
You're not perfect, but like, thank you for that one.
You're already one of the MVPs of this season, and you're in it for maybe a minute.
Yeah. It's awesome.
But it's very exciting. She plays some very fun roles in the original cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole, like, I think 4-episode arc of X-Men of Days of Future Past where Cable or Bishop, because they're both time travelers and they do that stuff all throughout the cartoon, but one of them is sent back in time to kill Gambit before he kills the president and starts the whole horrible future where mutants are all detained and whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's actually Mystique disguised as Gambit who kills the president.
Mm-hmm.
And she has all kinds of shenanigans like that. And I think that's going to be...
Spoilers. I'm just kidding.
And I think that's going to be very, very exciting going into another season with the idea that she could be anywhere and anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so fun.
It's terrifying.
I think this show has really locked in the kind of soap opera drama of it all, of the X-Men, who's dating who's baby's who, where is that baby. It's a fun energy for the X-Men to have, and I think it really helps it differentiate from other superhero teams. And I think having Mystique in the mix of all that is going to be so fun.
Very fun. I agree. And her design in the show is really cool already.
So it's very exciting, and that's kind of all we have to go off of. I hope maybe some of the problems with this season was kind of the mid trade-off between the teams working on it. I'm a little more nervous going into a season 3 than I was this one.
Sure.
But I think there's not a timeline where I don't love it.
Yeah. I agree. Very excited that it's also coming out next year.
Yes.
So.
And
At least
then
we have that.
let's get season 4 rolling, please.
Yeah. That's like Percy Jackson too. I'm like, guys.
Especially because out of D23, which we're about to circle to, it was announced that Marvel Studios is going to stop focusing on new live action shows. Because, of course, Daredevil's going to be safe. And, like, I love Daredevil, but, like, shut up. But they're going to be focusing on animation more, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And let's show that energy to the X-Men 97 team, please.
Yeah.
So, D23. They have officially, we've heard so many rumors in the past couple of weeks of
so many
castings, but they have announced some of our big actors for the X-Men movie coming, I believe it was May 5th, 2028.
Very exciting.
Yes. So, would you do the honors?
Sure. Okay. So, of course, for those that have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is probably most of you, if not, what are you doing? Go see it. We know that Sadie Sink is our Jean Grey, which was such a great casting. Everybody kind of knew when she got casted that was who she was, but now it's confirmed with that movie. It was very fun that she got to be there with Kevin. Like, she is so clearly going to be like the main character of what's to come with the X-Men, and that's very exciting for her because she's a great actress. And a lot of these names have either started in or in some part of their career done the like live theater, and those are almost always like the best castings for things. Speaking of, we have officially Kit Connor as our Cyclops, which had several names attached to that for the longest time.
Yes.
He was a very last minute addition that nobody had really heard about.
And it was locked in really quickly after, like an hour later, and he was locked in.
Yes, and like an hour after people started posting, oh, now he's rumored. Now it's his turn to be rumored. Then they were like, oh, well, now it's confirmed. And then now he walked on stage, so it really is confirmed, which is
this is
very
a win
exciting
for the redheaded community.
Such a win. I really love this casting. I personally liked a lot of the casting rumors here, but this is definitely one of my favorites. I was one of those that definitely was on board for Cooper Hoffman, but I know not everyone was, so maybe ultimately they decided to go with someone.
They have
I don't know.
such similar vibes.
Yeah, I agree.
And, Kit Connor already has the superhero physique, so...
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some people are saying, oh, that's a safe choice, but I think if it is, it's a really good safe choice. So I'm definitely not mad at it at all. I think he's a great actor. And he has chemistry with everyone. And so we were saying, who on earth are they gonna get as Cyclops? Like, I feel like Sadie Sink's Jean Grey, I don't know, seems so isolated, like doesn't seem obviously she's much younger. It's not like we're looking at comparisons to X-Men 97. I mean, those characters are much older. But I don't know, it's almost like who's she gonna have chemistry with at some point, and this is very believable. I think that's a great casting choice for them. Next we have, let's see, Samara Weaving was also one of the first after Jean Grey as Emma Frost.
Dude.
She was confirmed before Cyclops.
And you just know at the end of Ready or Not 2, she was like, hey, manager, send this to Kevin Feige's desk. And Kevin was like, I got you.
He's like, and you ate that. No, what a great choice. She has been such a great actress who has been in not wildly big roles, for sure. She's definitely been a screen queen here and there in a lot of different horror movies, but she has not been on a huge
She's
big
been
screen.
waiting for her big break.
Yeah.
And I
This
think
is
we
it.
found it.
Yeah. Such a great casting choice. I'm so happy for her. She's very talented and has a great look for the character as well. So, what a great choice.
No, and I love that Emma Frost as a character, since Marvel Rivals announced her, she has been, I've seen her everywhere, and I love that she is becoming a pretty popular name.
Absolutely.
In the general public even.
Yeah.
She's always been the nerds have always known Emma Frost, but she's making her way to the general public in a big way, and I love that for the character, and I love that for Samara Weaving.
I agree. I'm so glad that this is definitely going to get people to start watching Ready or Not, because that is also an underrated horror movie that, I mean, is popular among that community, but I think, as far as, those people who just kind of watch the more popular ones, they may not have seen. So go watch it, because it's an underrated
it's an incredible
gem.
movie.
Yeah. Next, we have Maya Boyd. I think I'm saying that right. Seems pretty straightforward. As Storm, which was a surprise because I had not seen her name anywhere. We had seen a lot of the girl from Sinners, who everyone said wants to play Storm, and Tiana are the two big name roles I've heard for her. Her name was definitely there a lot. And then there was a different name within the past 3 days that I heard that people also really liked. I really liked. So this was kind of out of left field, but I also really love it. I think she definitely has a look for it. And she has also done live theater. I couldn't find anything else that she had done other than, some theater stuff. But
she's a Broadway girl.
Yeah.
And I heard her voice whenever people were throwing that information around. Gorgeous.
I think it's going to be great. With unknown actors in such a big role like this, they earned it. It's not like some smaller movies, it may just, it's not as for sure of a thing, but she had to do a lot, I'm sure.
With Marvel's casting process?
Absolutely, she earned that. So I have full faith in that casting. And again, with the live theater experience, that also gives me a lot of faith. So we love to see it. We love to see that fun theater representation. Next, we have another very big surprise, which is Indy Navarrete as Rogue. What a gag, because her name has been thrown around a lot with Mystique. She has been on the Mystique campaign for weeks. And so everyone thought that was a lock. And then people were like, she's at D23. She's on the red carpet. We know, we see her. She's definitely going to be announced for Mystique. And then she's announced as Rogue. What a gag. However, I love it. I think it's great. I think she's, whatever character she was, I would have loved it probably, because she's just very talented. I love that so early she has secured a very big role for herself. And probably a much bigger paycheck, I'm sure. So I love that for her, and I'm sure she'll have some longevity with that as well, because Rogue is definitely one of the bigger names in the X-Men franchise. I don't know. I'm excited. But Kaylee Spaney, what happened? Where are you at?
I want to circle back to Kaylee Spaney, but as I was refreshing that feed last night, I got many a perspective on how the people were feeling.
Ooh, okay.
And let me tell you, the vibes, like, people were like, and if Indy is cast as Mystique tonight, we riot.
What?
Yeah, that was crazy to me. And
I mean, I guess because I know the only complaint I ever saw with her casting is that she's very short, unlike Mystique.
no, I heard
She
that
is.
as well,
She's
but then
5
I
feet
saw
tall.
the entire crew like standing all together, and I'm like, this is a really short cast, so she'll be fine.
Yeah.
But no, I saw everyone like freaking out, like, I'm gonna
Wow.
be so upset if she's Mystique. With the idea that they really wanted a trans actress like Hunter Schafer to be Mystique, which valid.
Yeah.
I think if you're trusting that Disney's obviously going to do that, you're lying to yourself.
No,
So I think you have to prepare for another great pick that isn't, trans. Obviously, still we should demand that kind of stuff, but
yeah.
in the vein of Disney's gonna Disney, who else would it go to? The idea that Indy's a bad pick for that, I think, is crazy. Specifically,
surprised,
I'm going
yeah.
to credit her performance in Obsession, the physical movement that she killed, like the
Yeah.
offsettingness, the like jaggedness of it. There's
And she did a lot of that. It wasn't all like, I mean, obviously some of it was like reverse and like edited stuff, but a lot of it was just her. And like the cast and crew were freaked out seeing it. Like that's how good she was.
her physical movements are what really sold me on the idea that like she could kill that role.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, people were rightfully pointing out in response to the complaints on her height, the Wolverine Hugh Jackman of it all. Because he's supposed to be short and he was tall in those movies. I don't really think that's the end all be all of a casting. I don't
And
know.
let's look at Robert Downey Jr. He is so short.
Yeah.
They have him standing on boxes in every scene he's talking with Captain America and Thor, so let's
It's gonna
bring
be
size
okay.
out of this equation.
It's gonna be okay.
Um,
But no, that shocks me actually. No, but I do agree that, I would love a trans actress as Mystique. However, I don't know how much I would trust Disney to do that. I think of like how poorly they have let their live action princesses castings be treated when people didn't like their castings. They just literally left them for the wolves. And so I don't know. It's like I want representation, I want that opportunity for a person, but it's like
if you're not protecting them, then is
They-
it really
yeah.
the right move?
I also don't want them to be thrown to the wolves,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want them to be taken care of. But I would have a little bit, more hope because Mystique would obviously be part of a cast of people that would stand by them. I would trust that they would have a good, like, it's not just like a princess, like they're the lead. It's like you would be a part of an ensemble and they could have your back if
Absolutely.
the studios would not.
And
so.
I think there's also something to be said for it being an X-Men movie that would have that representation.
Yeah.
And like it's literally what the metaphor is built around. And even specifically with Mystique.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know. It's almost a choice that defends itself.
Yes.
So
We'll come back to this. I want to finish the
Yes.
last two castings here, but we do have more to say with the Hunter Schafer mystique of it all. Potential. Anyways. Next we have our villain. We have Mr. Sinister, who is Adam Driver, who was also being rumored for a while as Magneto, and then it changed to Sinister. But then his announcement was very vague at first, so people were saying like Adam Driver is Magneto, and then somebody else is Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister, and everyone was like, "But which one?"
no, that better have been a script, sir. His whole thing, and I will be playing Mr. Sinister. no, but he didn't even say Mr. Sinister. He said his real person name, which is like Nathaniel something.
Yeah.
And it's like, crazy.
Crazy choice. No, I agree. I was like,
If
oh,
that
well,
wasn't scripted, Kevin Feige sending you is like on his way to your
I'm
location
sure.
right now.
No, I'm sure it was scripted.
But
I would
that's
be shocked.
crazy behavior. Whoever did that, whoever decided that,
They were messy. They decided
needs to be talked
yes.
to.
No, but I'm very excited because I think he's gonna do great at that. I think people, have a lot to say about the Star Wars sequels, but almost never him. They might have said, they might make jokes about, I guess they don't find him attractive or whatever. But I think pretty much across the board, people can agree that he is one of the better parts of those movies. And, whatever about his writing, but his acting was really good in those movies. And he has a lot of iconic moments and memes from those. So he makes a name for himself. And I think Marriage Story as well, people are citing that. And I think rightfully so. So I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, and Mr. Sinister, X-Men 97 is bringing him back in a really big way. I love Mr. Sinister. I wish he was used more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited that he's going to be the first antagonist of the X-Men.
Yeah.
I hope that he lasts a while. He's
Marvel's gonna Marvel. I don't know.
I don't know. Like he's the person who makes Nathan. So that's a pretty big deal if you're doing an X-Men family. So
Maybe.
we'll see.
know.
And also he has clones of himself, so he can always come back.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyways,
after he was rumored to be Mr. Fantastic as well.
Yes.
In different lineups as well. So I'm glad he eventually got a role. So good for him. Clearly he wanted to be here. So I'm happy for you.
No, it does make me question where our Magneto is going to be cast, especially on the younger side. Because what was the actor's name who did him last? The younger version?
Michael
Fassbender. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, well, that leads right into our casting for Professor X, which is
Yes.
Christopher Abbott. Interesting filmography for him.
Yes.
You pointed out that he was a lead in Wolfman in
And that's
2025,
crazy.
and that was a really bad movie. However, he was, funny enough, also in the show Girls, which Adam Driver is also in, which I've seen most of, if not all of, but it's been a while, so I can't remember if I've seen all of it. Anyways, so that's kind of fun. He's also cited as being in Kraven the Hunter, which is funny, and Poor Things, which we didn't like, but a lot of other people did. So I don't know, but I think
I think there's things in that movie that are, most of that movie is a masterpiece. There's just like 2 or 3 things in that movie that completely ruin it for me.
yeah,
There's
like
plenty great in that movie.
yeah. So, but I think he has the look for it, and I feel like the Professor X casting, one, for me, was one of the ones I was the least interested in. I just don't really care. Again, not a huge fan of Professor X, so I guess I wasn't as locked in on that. And then 2, I felt like a lot of the people that had been rumored up until that point, which he was in that mix at some point, but I didn't like a lot of the people that were being rumored for that character, and his was one, at least look-wise, that I liked. I kept, because obviously you're imagining them bald, because at some point they're going to be, and I don't know, some of them I'm like, you look a little crazy in my mind, bald, and this guy I'm like, yeah, I could see you bald.
Bald.
And I think he also has the face of definitely sometimes being on a high horse.
You know what the thing is?
So.
I feel like I need to see who Magneto is, because I feel like it's Charles and Magneto.
Yeah, I agree. I think the duo. You need the
those
duo.
are the two people you cast side by side.
Yeah, do a chemistry read for sure.
Yeah, it feels.
So.
I don't know. They clearly are very confident in his choice, but when you're casting Magneto, you gotta have them stand next to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did look it up because I just wanted to see around similar age ranges that we could be looking for. He's 40, so when potentially making fan casts, that's kind of around the range you should look for with Magneto. So, yeah. And that's definitely a decent size above everyone else that's been
Yes.
casted. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the only ones that have been confirmed. Of course, we still have some names that have been thrown out, so we're wondering, could they appear elsewhere? There are definitely still some names, some characters to be casted at some point. A big one is Charles Melton as Beast has been a big headline that has had its ups and downs. I think everyone loves the casting. There's definitely no or very little nuance in that. Like everyone's pretty much on the same page. We love this. However, it recently came out that he dropped out, out of the role, but then he came out and said, no, like
He
I'm
didn't
still
confirm or
interested.
deny it, which is a sign that they're still talking
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. In Marvel talk, he's still they're in still negotiations, but it seems like maybe a money thing. Fair enough. You were just in beef. Like, I don't know. I would trust him being valid more than I would trust Disney being on the rights.
I mean, he's Emmy nominated now.
Yeah.
For working with the same exact team.
Yeah. Yeah. I trust that that's like he has a valid reason. Like they're lowballing him for sure. I'm sure.
I
I hope he gets what he deserves because he would be a great Beast.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And then the Kaylee Spaney of it all.
I know. Girl,
So,
what happened?
The rumor was that she was supposed to be being cast as Rogue.
Which everyone also loved.
So now,
I don't
do you
know.
think that it just didn't work out, or do you think they were considering her for another role?
I think they're considering her for something else. It's interesting to me that Indy Navarrete herself campaigned very heavily for Mystique and showed her interest for Mystique, but yet is now Rogue. And so I wonder, was that just kind of a red herring of it all? Was she maybe interested in multiple and was just given Rogue? I want to know the reason behind that, because I think maybe that could fill in some gaps of what happened here.
Well, but also I think age-wise, I think she's a little young to play. Like, if you're able to play Rogue, and age isn't the problem that people have with your casting, then I think maybe you're too young for Mystique, who's supposed to be on the same, closer in age to Charles and Magneto. So, you're definitely, an age above your first class of X-Men.
Yeah.
And certainly because, as we just talked in X-Men 97, Rogue is raised by Mystique, so...
Hunter Schafer, just because that name is being thrown out a lot, I think more so fan casting, not so much actual consideration yet. But she's 27, which is not. It's definitely a notch below 40, but it's a little bit higher than what would be some of her castmates. I don't know. I would maybe look into.
That's putting her closer to the range that they're casting for Beast, which is around 30 to 35.
That's what I would probably look more so for Mystique, but who knows? Who knows what they want to do? Maybe they don't want to do Mystique right now, and they want to do. I don't know.
I'm curious. I do really want Kaylee Spaney to have another good go at making it big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know if that'll be X-Men at least this go around.
Well, people have pointed out that she would make a really good Kitty Pryde, so
Kitty's a good one, actually.
Maybe
There's
she's
still room.
still
And the
there
X-Men is a
somewhere.
big cast, so.
Well, and it could be an Adam Driver situation where you don't get this, but you get something else later. So I don't know.
What?
And then, obviously, you already mentioned Magneto. That's a very big name that they have not casted yet, or even really being rumored. I've seen names here and there, but he's definitely not been in a lot of discussions that we have heard of. And then, same with Wolverine. That's another big one. Obviously, he got his own trilogy with the older Fox universe.
And what a trilogy.
So. Oh, yeah. I mean, one really good one, and then, the others exist. But I don't know. His name hasn't been thrown out kind of at all either.
I like the idea that the first X-Men movie wouldn't have Wolverine. Because he comes in later. He's a mix-up into the dynamics. So it's I enjoy. Obviously, this is something we need to circle back to sooner rather than later, but I will enjoy if we have an outing without him off the get go.
Yeah. And then the last two is we've heard a lot of rumors that the characters Angel and Iceman are, going to be in this next movie, and they're not here. Nor has casting rumors really been around for them that I've seen again.
Okay, I don't want to ruin your day, but there is that rumor that's been circulating for like a week that Noah Schnapp is campaigning to be in the MCU.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
And, I think the internet is reacting appropriately to that news.
Well, because not only do people not like him for a valid reason, but he's also just a bad actor. Like, point blank, like that's like objectively true. I mean, not that not that everyone agrees on that. Clearly, there were unfortunately still people from Stranger Things loving his performance. Couldn't be me, couldn't be us. But like, he's just a bad actor. I would not touch that. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney was also kind of there. I don't think he's a big enough name to ignore like the division there.
Mm.
Some people I think Disney would say like whatever to, but I don't.
But all of that to
don't
be
know.
said, there is clearly a big push that the fandom wants a queer man in the role of Iceman.
Yeah.
Which I think should be kind of a given. Like, very similar in the roles of, like, Wiccan.
Yeah.
Which, let's go out and say, I think we both say, perfectly casted.
Yeah, absolutely. In our opinions.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, I don't know. I'm curious where they go.
It's fun that both Joe Locke and Kit Connor are both in the MCU. Because
Love
we
that for
knew
them.
that Kit Connor was not wanting to be Hulkling, so that was not going to happen. However, they're still definitely looking for Hulkling from what I hear at some point. So, but it's fun to think maybe they'll interact at some point. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't
No,
know.
I saw an interesting
So-
thing where it's because Wanda, if she ever does come back, which especially after D23, they're playing around with it a little too much for it to be a hard no. But she does the whole no mutants of it all, and that puts Wanda Hater and Wanda Defenders aggressively against each other, which is the leader of the biggest mutant group versus Wanda's favorite son. So,
Crazy.
them sharing a scene is not a crazy stretch.
Maybe.
Someday.
Yeah.
But anyways, whatever.
A lot of fun rumors, maybe a couple scary ones. But we definitely still have some big names to be announced. And Kevin Feige, you mentioned that there's still more castings to be announced at some point. That's not surprising with all the Beast stuff. I'm sure they're still working on that and some other characters. So
Yeah. But
Very
Beast,
exciting.
Angel, and Iceman are like pretty definitive
All
members of the
confirmed, yeah.
first X-Men class.
okay.
So I'd be if we didn't
Makes
have
sense.
if one of them was missing, I think it'd be a missed opportunity.
All right. Well, let us know your fan castings for those characters that are still coming, and then how do you feel about the casting that
the
is
castings
confirmed?
we have, yeah.
Surprising and not surprising. Were you surprised? I'm sure at least on one of them you were, but
Dude, Rogue shocked everyone.
yeah. But I still really like it, and I like I said earlier, I think I have trust and faith in her to do a good job, even if she doesn't do the Southern accent. But I also believe she's capable of the Southern accent. So
I think the
We'll
combination
see.
of her and this director, who I think just nailed it with Thunderbolts,
mhm.
I have a lot of faith that they'll
Yeah,
like.
They'll
I
do a
think
good
that
job.
trailer is gonna hit really hard.
yeah,
I saw some people, I think, unfairly saying, "Why is the X-Men casting announcement quieter than the Vision Quest trailer?" And it's like, oh, you mean why is a trailer doing better than a cast that was basically leaked 2 weeks in advance?
yeah.
What are we talking about?
Well, and I'm
Uh,
still seeing on my end. I'm seeing way more X-Men stuff than Vision Quest stuff, but that's just my algorithm.
Mm.
They know what I care about more. Not that I don't care about Vision Quest, but anyways.
No, but I think I am so excited to see this continue to take shape.
The only other thing is we didn't bring up bring up the Hunter Schafer of it all as Mystique. I think the only hesitation, because I think for the longest time, I don't know about you, but I really liked that fan casting, and I'm not against it. However, I think after Euphoria season 3, how everyone was kind of like, why is she talking like this? Like that one scene in particular, I don't know if it's the veneers of it all. I don't really know what happened, or it was just a bad acting choice. But I think now I maybe have some reservations with that casting. Because I
agree.
can't, I wouldn't be able to stand
until
if she was
later
talking
Euphoria
like that.
season 3. I was like locked in.
Yes.
And now I'm like, you're still in the running. Maybe we
look at
some
other
calls.
options too. Yeah. I don't know. So we just have a slight hesitation. Not that we're against it. Certainly not. But if it was ever confirmed, I think we would still have those. Like, we need to like hear her talk or like see her now.
And there's something to be said. The original Mystique in the like original X-Men trilogy doesn't talk all that much. I think I would be hoping that we land somewhere between that and Jennifer Lawrence's in the younger, where it's like somewhere in between. I don't think she needs to be a part of the main ensemble as like an X-Men for all this long, but I want her to continue to be a character but still have the mystique about herself.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to find a place somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. I think that's all of our thoughts. So
Yeah.
overall, pretty positive vibes. We feel pretty good. So there's not a casting so far that we dislike. So
Yeah. So we shall see as this develops. We'll probably talk more on updates as they come in our recaps. So if you want to continue to see our thoughts on upcoming Marvel and big content like that, check our recaps. That'll probably be where we're sure to talk about them. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm your host, Alicia.
And thank you for watching Not So Straight Nerds.
Bye.